What is going on, everybody? It is Mike. We are back with another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. And since I'm running the solo show, you know it's a coffee time kicks. And I got a very, very special guest today. I mean, he goes without any introduction needed. Recording artist. I like to even call him part of sneaker media. He is a designer. He is a sneaker collaborator. I feel like you can just have a business card that just kind of rolls out. But I got one, Mr. Trinidad James. What's going on, Trinidad? How you doing, brother?
How you doing, brother? How you doing? What's going on? What's up? What's up?
Man, not much, man. I appreciate the time, man. I've been a fan of everything you've been doing, from sneakers to your corresponding work when it came to full size run and things you did with Complex, man. You just really,
Thank you.
yeah, someone for like truly in the sneaker culture and doing something about it. It's not just you're not just like taking from the sneaker culture, but you're trying to provide something back, man. So I really, really appreciate what you're doing out there.
No, it's truly it's a great thing to be appreciated for things that you want to be appreciated for. Adding value to communities is something that I really try my best to strive and do. So when it's when people see it and like can actually appreciate it, it's something that I don't take for granted because that's what I want to do. Like I want to bring
Yeah.
value to something. Complex was already complex. However, it's like a big platform too. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people be like, dang, they don't be hiring nobody, or why they not hiring people, or why they not doing this. Like, bro, you got to bring value to something that's already popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that. I mean, when people jump into the sneaker game in a sense of, whether making videos, whether writing up pieces, there's like, man, I want to get noticed immediately. But like you said, you got to bring value, which takes time and a lot of work. And Trinidad, you've definitely been putting in the work from, I mean, you go back to 2012. I mean, I think, and that was probably the, I like to call it when sneakers hit mainstream. Sneakers have already been popular, but
Right.
sneakers in 2012 hit this like just this pinnacle of people knew about them from Galaxy phone releases to all that stuff. And I remember your single and all gold everything. You already talk about how you're differentiating yourself from the hype beast in a single line of a song. You differentiate yourself from a hype beast, which at that time that term wasn't a term of endearment at that point. It's like at that point it's like, hey,
Right.
no, I'm in my lane, my individualism, while the hype beasts are doing this, that, and the third. Now people take hype beasts like, oh yeah, I'm that, but you can tell that again you were cut from a different cloth because your fashion even then, shoe choices even then have been a very, you have deep cuts, very individualized things that you get into, which I think are really the makings of what a sneakerhead or a sneaker collector, whatever you want to call us at this moment. That's what it's all about, man.
Amen. Amen. I appreciate that, man. It's so interesting. You talked about I almost wore Galaxy phone posits today,
Nice.
but it's raining. I was just like, eh. Because I still got my ones that I camped for. It's so cool that my store is 2 blocks over from where I camped for
Oh,
my
word?
first Galaxies. So it's nobody like 5 days for the first Galaxies, but Nike actually sent
Dang.
me the new Galaxies as a gift, like just to kind of pay respects to me camping for them back in the day. So I was,
That's
it is some
awesome.
really like small level but cool. Like if you care about sneakers, and like that's dope. Like that's the
Hmm.
type of stuff that I always think that brands should do. Because I don't look
Yeah.
at myself as this like type of celebrity that's like untouchable. It's like, bro, I'm in the streets. Like somebody can come in the store right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the trenches. Like if you know where we at, like I'm in the trap right now. This is the trap I was in before I even did music, and I'm back in
Hmm.
the trap, but like with a different, intentions and just way more opportunities and way better leverage and ownership. So it's dope, man. It's really, really dope.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, they'll get famous, they find their success, and they don't go back. They'll, oh, maybe I throw a couple dollars here, donate to this, that, and the third. But you went back and you put this, what will grow into a staple of fashion, a staple of sneakers, and a staple of culture with Hommewrk, which your brand's been around since 2020, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so now 5 years later, you got, like you said, this moment of being able to put, plant the seed in actual physical brick and mortar store where you have a place where people can come hang out, people can see what you're doing, you can bring in other creatives and, their clothes, whatever you're doing. Like
Yeah.
that is something a lot of people talk about, strive about, but it's hard to do. It's just in is something that you can't really do it all the time. But man, how's that feel? Being like you said, you're sitting in your office right now at the store. Like, how does that feel? Being able to say, you know what, I did it.
No, I mean I'm doing it, man. You know, it's like I'm such a in real time person. I don't live in the past. I appreciate all the things I've done in the past, but I don't live in it, man. Like I'm trying to see how can I change the world today? How can I make things pop today? You know, how can I bring, like, once again, bring value to somebody in this day and age now? Like one of the things that we always say with the brand is like, we don't sell clothes, we sell confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's socks and stuff like that. Like it's not just about like just normally being a dad. I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Whatever, but it's a nickname that I've had for the last, 10 years, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? But the dad stands for destroying all doubt.
Yeah.
Because
like
we
that.
all have doubters, and sometimes that main doubter starts with ourselves, man, where we doubt ourselves because things are not happening in the time that we wanted it. I got into music 13 years ago, not to be famous, but to have this store. I wanted this store when I worked here. You know what I'm saying? And 13 years later, I finally got it. And it's like, damn, it's just awesome. It's so crazy. The dude who I used to work for, who had it for 10 years, he came by the store yesterday to say what's up and check it out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, man. I don't have beef with people too, like to talk, going back to what you just said about people like get famous and then they don't come back to where they came from. A lot of times, man, it's because of the things that they was doing when they were where they're from. Like, of course, like nobody really liked them like that. They didn't really, they only liked that they was popping, but they didn't like the person. The artist is not the man. I always tell my clients and like the kids, it's like the man makes, or the woman makes the artist. The artist don't make the man, the artist don't make the woman.
Yeah.
So if that means that the reason why I say that is people will get popping off of a song or album or whatever, right? They got all this motion. And people from your city will love the music. But then now when you separate the music and now you start talking about how you feel about the man or the woman, I hate that. I don't fuck with it. That motherfucker fucked up.
Yeah, it's like, I like when he was on the radio, but I don't want to talk to him in person.
Exactly. So that's why they don't come back to their hood. That's why they don't come back to the trap, because they can't really, because they burnt, and they kind of subconsciously burn bridges with the people in that community.
Dang. I didn't, you know what, when you say it like that, I don't think anybody ever thinks about it that way. They're like, oh, your friends just go back. And some people don't go back. It's like, hey, look, they don't mess with me like that because I've done X, Y, Z.
We don't fuck with him. We don't fuck with her.
Yeah.
We fuck with the success. It made the city look good.
Yeah.
Cool. How whatever, but we don't fuck with him like that because he don't fuck with us like that.
Yep. No, that's exactly what happens. You'll see that in a lot of, like I say, a lot of big artists, a lot of big actors, whatever, fill in the blank, designers, and it's just like, cool, I'll rep that I came from this city, but I ain't going back, but it makes a lot of sense. But something you've done through your entire career up until the present, you seem to have been your authentic self the entire time across the board, no matter what it be, the music, to being on Full Size Run, to now in your endeavor with the fashion, the space, the store, the brand. It has always been Trinidad. And in a world where people are trying to, I don't know, it seems like especially in sneakers, they're looking for a cookie cutter sometimes to, be the face of the culture, which we see a lot. How did you manage to remain yourself, not sacrifice who you are, and still be able to get into the room, or be able to do the things, the projects you've been able to, you've been blessed with?
I think that the biggest blessing that I ever received, man, was that God gave me the chance to come in as a leader and not a follower. So when Trinidad James came in, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I wasn't coming in looking like anybody else. I wasn't coming in sounding like anybody else. So God blessed me with being a wave starter and not a wave follower. I wasn't a part of the wave. I was the wave. Yeah. So that means that, like, when you're the blueprint, now that's the main thing that you must remember within this journey. However, the goal is to take that blueprint and keep regurgitating something that allows you to garner that same success every time. But it doesn't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to understand that it's like, what is my purpose if it's not to keep making all go everythings, right? Yeah. And so that's why you started seeing me, hey, well, let me open up my repertoire to all the things I like. And then that just helped me to realize myself as a man is like, I am a person of, I don't like to just be stuck in one box. I love to entertain. I don't want to be the best rapper. I never did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never will be. The best rapper already been working harder than me 10 years before I came in the game, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
had in my 20s, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I was doing this as a teenager. You know, I made the decision to do music in my 20s, and God gave me the success right then and there. And so, you know, I already came in seasoned as a man, rookie as an artist. So my career
Like
has
that.
been me turning that rookie into, you know, getting to veteran and more knowledge. But the man, I never stopped working on the man while I was working on the artist. And that's
Yeah.
what you've been able to see over these last 13 years.
Yeah. And when you say that, that's crazy because you think about it when people are in these
What's
situations
up? I'm doing this
and
little
it's
interview.
in
I'm doing this little interview right quick. Yeah.
it's in anything. Like, so even from something as simple as, hey, you know what, I want to start this YouTube channel, or I want to start this Instagram page or whatever, or getting bigger into music. People are working on the character. Like, hey, what does this character look like? How do I do that? And you've done a complete opposite, which is, I think, quite garnered you the respect of whatever room you go into. You're like, hey, like you said, I've been working on Trinidad, the man, for, however long I've been alive. I'm
Right.
not going to change to be this person I'm not, or provide this fake um, mask or portrayal of myself that's not sustainable.
It won't be. You gotta, it's like, that's a crack high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always gonna be chasing that hit. Like, you know, a lot of people tried to make me chase that hit, like
Yeah,
chase all go everything.
yeah,
And, you know, it's like that would have made me burn out. You know,
yeah,
it would have threw off my character as the man.
yep.
You know, especially like a lot of people will make you try to chase something and they won't show you how to chase it correctly.
Hmm.
So that's why I kind of took the time to understand the process. You know what I'm saying? Like what goes into making great records. And so I had to become a better writer. I had to become a better listener. I
Yeah,
had to, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that comes along with it that I didn't have that prior experience before getting my fame. As soon as I started doing music, I became the guy that
yeah,
you know, and so with that being understood and, you know, me just realizing that I stopped beating myself up about the blessing that God gave me and started letting it flow through me of like, okay, well, what do you want me to do with this blessing that I have?
yep,
And that's just what it ends up turning into. Full Size Run. It turns into acting and Will Smith and Adam Sandler and just
yeah,
all these things that like the dude from the trap. You got this going on, the immigrant dude from the trap. You know, I'm not even from America. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just different, man. It's just
yeah,
different. You know, like being able to be appreciative of and letting the universe actually work in your favor compared to
mhm,
working against it based on what people are telling you to chase
yep.
and what the social media is telling you to chase makes a big difference, bro.
Yeah, and something that you said a couple times that really resonates with me is that you have God in your life. I mean, I'm big in just like the faith of everything, and and that was funny. I was talking to your homeboy Matt Welty last week. He hopped
Okay.
on with us, and same thing, just having that faith like guide you, which is something that me being dad, husband, and trying to figure out whatever the heck this whole endeavor is I'm doing in this the podcast and then the just sneaker channels. It's like gotta have faith that God's time is going to put you in the right place. Like you gotta work. Like he ain't gonna do it all for you, but he'll open the door. You just gotta get your way through the door, and it's something you've done. And I love it. Like you said, you didn't take the traditional path. And as we talk about sneakers and traditional, I mean, when people do sneaker collaborations, give me the Nike, give me the Adidas, give me this. But you took one of my favorite brands and you've done, I correct me if I'm wrong, you've done 5 collaborations with Saucony now?
Six,
Six.
six.
And I mean, I got
Yeah.
I got one of the bad boys right here. So shout out to the homie Jason. He
Hey.
sent me these a while back. So,
Love,
um,
love, love. Shout out to Jason, man. Good dude.
man, you have, and I love it because again, you didn't take the hottest sneaker at the time, but you took something with a lot of history behind it and put more history in it, telling the story. And dude, when I made my review of this shoe, when I got this in hand, I was completely blown away by what you did materials wise. Um, Dude, this is a beautiful shoe. Like, how did you decide to tell this story of that basketball player, and then decide, you know what, and put it all together? Like, what's your process in this, man?
It's the I use the triple C. But the triple C is comfort, colorway, cost, right? So it has to be comfortable. Yeah, the colorway has to make sense or whatever. Then the cost has to be effective. But before that's just like in general design, right?
Yeah.
Before then, bro, we had to do our homework. Like literally, that's the
I
brand.
love
Like
it.
we are very, we're very true to the brand, bro. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't go to college. My not literary, but like my research skills are not the best or whatever. Like when like that's the most beautiful thing about college. College teaches you how to like really find stuff, how
Yeah.
whatever. Like when you're doing research, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so and I can't take all the credit. Like people that work with me, they help me. And my strong suit is the vision
Mhm.
and understanding the colorways and color theory and things of such. But like when it comes to the knowledge, it has to feel right to me.
Yeah.
How whatever, like literally right now, before I was talking to you, I was doing my homework for the next collection and stuff like that. And I
Nice.
was just like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot
Research
of
is a
work.
killer, man. Research is an absolute killer because you're like,
Research,
okay,
bro.
gotta make sure it's real. I mean, double like, I want to fact check about this thing. But I love that's the
Exactly.
mantra of the brand, though, man. It's like keep
Yeah.
learning, and that's what people need to do because everyone wants it so fast. Being able to go and dig and do the work is so fulfilling when you have that knowledge in the back of your mind.
Man, 1,000%, bro. So, that's why for us is like we don't have as many collections as other people, but our collections, pretty much almost sold out, all of it. And when people find out about it, they shop it, they buy it because it's like, oh, it's intentional, it's real, the quality is there, the
Yeah.
colorways make sense. You know what I'm saying? For like what's happening in life with community. And so with that shoe, man, it was the same thing, man. It's like just basically, okay, understanding, see, because I have a sneaker background and knowledge, I understand like high tops is not the most popular shoe anymore at the time, but it's still a person for it.
Yep.
And it still holds weight if it's done correctly. The right high top come out, we love it. And you know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. And so I was like, let me actually do this for women's basketball because I've been a fan for a while and some of my good friends are like our ex-WNBA players.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If I do something that's just like a male basketball player, like I was going to do Xavier McDaniels. I started doing
Okay.
my homework with
Yeah.
because he actually wore the shoe back in the day.
hmm
But I felt like I work with so many women now on the music side of things. It just didn't feel right to just do something that
Yeah.
was so male dominated. It just was a deeper story when I found out about Lucia.
Yep.
And just, that whole idea of her being the godmother of basketball and then her not getting the love that she was supposed to, man. So that's kind of like where we're like the voice of the voiceless.
Yeah.
When a story's not told all the way, we want to add some more onto it so that like interviews like this will catch somebody's ear. And then that kid who is in college right now and like designing, oh, they can come and do a better job than me.
Yeah. It's always about building the next generation up, and dude, I like that because a lot of times, unfortunately, I mean, you and I have been in the sneakers for a long time. You look up, it's a lot of gatekeeping goes on on both sides, the
Yeah.
consumer side and of course the design side. People don't want you doing as good as them, but the fact that you're able to, you're hoping for the next generation to come up and do better. You're pushing that thought process of hey, keep doing your research, keep doing your homework,
Yeah,
and
it
that's
still matters. It still
yeah,
matters. I don't care. It still matters. Anytime if you come in my shop, I'm going to tell you about the pieces. I'm going to tell you about all our muses. I'm going to tell you about the other brands that we carry too that are not my
yeah,
brand. You know what I'm saying? And if it's story there to tell, because people need to know what they're wearing. People need to know what
yeah,
they're investing into. Money is becoming way more inflated, and the price of things is going up crazy. The world is in a very interesting path right now in general as in its
yeah.
entirety. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
not
So,
lying, man. You're not
I
lying.
don't want to be a part of that narrative of just selling shit to be selling shit.
Yeah.
It's a way deeper, a way better intentions with us over here, man.
Yeah, and and I think when you put it that way, like seeing your perspective of it, joining like you can always see what people join certain brands like when it comes to partnerships, and you joining Saucony with that mindset, I think is perfect because I've told this to people like countless times. You look at whether it be collaborations with partners like you, partners like J Tips, you guys are telling stories, but also Saucony is very mindful of telling their own stories when it comes to in-house product or inline product. So you guys be able to have that, working with someone like Jason, who's really like, hey, let's get this story out. You guys do it the way you want it. Let's get it together. I think that speaks volumes instead of just like, hey, let's slap a color on it. Hey, Trinidad, put your name on there. Don't worry about us in the design room. We'll figure that out and just move along. But being a part of it really, I think, for me, that's just a big part of like my purchasing or who I want to be around when it comes to creating this content. It's like I want it to mean something. And the fact that like we talk about doing research, I tell you, man, I sat on my computer, my phone for upwards of like 2-3 hours looking up Lucia Harris. I didn't know about her until I got the shoe, digging into it. I had no idea about the Houston Angels. I was like, I'm in Houston. I had no idea about that.
Look, that's crazy, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I do it for. That little piece. You know what I'm saying? That's why we even put the little bit of blue lace in the thing. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask you about the blue laces. Like, I was the colors. I was like, okay, I'm digging through black and white pictures, trying to find colored pictures. I'm like, okay, I see the blue. It's that's the only team that has the color blue is the Houston Angels. But why the orange? Where'd the orange come from?
The orange was for the WNBA.
Ah, okay, I was right. That's I've been racking my brain. I was like, one day I'm gonna find. Before we even talked, before we even like got this interview together, I was like, I need to ask you at some point in life, was it for the WNBA because that's orange, which made sense to me. Mm-hmm. And all right,
because
now
it's really for women's basketball. It was a gift for women's basketball, but a story that needed to get some light shine to it was Lucia's.
Perfect. All right, I feel a little bit like completed now on this whole. That was like the one blank I had. I just need to know why it's orange, and that's what I was thinking. Sir. But that's okay, cool, man. So as you like do these projects, so we talk about the Sauconys, we talk about Hommewrk as a brand. And I know most of your roots are laid down in Atlanta. That's where we are now. But you also grew up a little bit in New York, correct?
Yep. I lived a lot of places, man. Canada, New York, Jacksonville, Florida. Canada. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Trinidad. So I've been around as a kid.
So reason I asked that is because a lot the places you named, from Trinidad to New York to Atlanta, heck, Canada, they all have their own things are known for fashion-wise. I mean, you talk just New York and Atlanta by themselves. You got Atlanta's more bright colors, definitely more into the experimental with clothing. When New York is going to have more of that, Air Force One energy, a little grittier, a little bit more, like the Carhartts, the jeans, the denims. Yeah. How do you have you taken all those neutrals? There you go. Do you take all that and like all your experience and that's how you combine them into the things that you are able to produce or the projects that you're able to work on?
Bro, it's streetwear. Like I'm doing streetwear. I'm not doing high fashion. I'm doing streetwear where it has to have a story and it has to make sense with like the everyday fly person. You know what I'm saying? Like man or woman. It just has to make sense with that. Like, I'm not in competition with, the game has moved to where now streetwear and luxury doing the same thing. So now that's why you got to pay $400, $500 for a T-shirt, and you know what I'm saying. All these crazy prices for stuff that's the same thing as Crooks and Castles, the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like what? But it is what it is. It's like I want to make sure that as long as I'm alive and doing it, that I could always show you how it's supposed to be done. Yeah. This is how I came up on this formula of streetwear, and it don't have to change. You don't have to tax people. The quality still can be great. You can have this jacket forever. You can have, you know what I'm saying? You can have your T-shirts. People love my T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? All my customers and my repeating customers and things like that. Like we have like a mailing list now or a customer base of like 4,000 people.
Oh, nice, man.
On my website, you know what I'm saying, over these last 4 or 5 years. And that was a blessing to see. Like when my tech guy showed me that, I was like, damn, for real? You know what I'm saying? Like really, really building a cachet of people that are like, nah. And a good number of people who are like repeat buyers, bought all my shoes, they buy our shirts and things. And then when people come to my pop-ups or when I go do like sneaker events and stuff like Got Soul and, do pop-ups and stuff like that, They come and like rocking this stuff and like, hey man, this is one of my favorite socks, or things
That's
like that. Because
dope.
once again, that triple C formula of comfort, colorway, cost, that's for the fourth C, community. I'm for the community. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm designing for. Like I'm trying to be Zara, H&M,
Yeah,
Gap.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like a
Old
like
Navy. Like,
affordable but still look good.
yeah, exactly. Like you still can get it off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's still, you can go in the spot because it's really you at the end of
Hmm.
the day. The clothes don't make you, you make the clothes.
Yep.
So once again, we're selling confidence.
Yeah, and that's cool because a lot of people they think they got to go buy a $300 t-shirt. I mean, hey, if you got it like that, cool. But
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no
yeah,
diss to that person. Like, bro, do what you got to do. I got some to myself, but it's just that it don't have to be that way. And I
yeah,
remember, like, when I do homework, because it's the reason why I made a school-based brand too is like, I remember in school, I ain't had none of that stuff. I had
hmm,
to make it work. But I was still fly, still, almost one best dressed, not having none of that
yeah,
designer stuff in high school. Literally, I lost to somebody that wore designer stuff. And
yeah.
it was their brother's stuff. It wasn't even their stuff. You see
But
what
you
I'm
were
saying?
right there doing your thing. Like
Yeah, I
I
was
can
like
do
right
this
there. Like,
without having to
if
spend.
I came in second place, rocking all my stuff, and then none of it was designer, and you won rocking your brother's stuff, who wasn't even in school, how whatever is like, I won in my
Yeah,
mind. You know what I'm saying? Like streetwear still matters, and streetwear is something that it leads with confidence. My confidence is what got me to that final battle.
yeah. And streetwear is something that's like I think people mistake it for streetwear is this brand. I don't think that's the case because,
Mhm.
like you said, you make the clothes. The clothes don't make you. And
100%.
you can go to Target, you can go to Marshalls, you can go to like you said, Zara,
Walmart.
H&M, Walmart, and you can throw a fit together. Like I got 4 kids and a wife. I can't be going to the mall spending a bunch of money, so I make it like Target's my spot, bro. Like I'm out here like, and
And that,
or find stuff on sale. Like I don't hate buying stuff full price, and it's like I can make this work. But do I love streetwear brands? Do I love the Stussies out there where it started for me, like those things that like popped up, or DGKs when I was younger, like when I was like in high school, it was like, oh my god, like this, like those things. Yeah.
right.
But I learned as time went on, it's like I can take this, I can take that. Streetwear is a culture, is like is a mindset, I feel like, of like coming from this rebellious nature, skate culture, sneaker culture, music culture, all meshed together to give you this unique fit. Like I don't want to look like everybody else, and that's something again I always respect about you, Trinidad. You're not out here with the same like the cookie cutter fit that everybody has on. It's like, hey, this is what I'm comfortable
Yeah,
in. This is what I love.
so as I'm saying, and the beautiful thing about it is I finally made it to that place where people understand that, bro, I'm never gonna be like them, but they appreciate me for me, and it's been
Yes.
beautiful, man. It's been real beautiful.
Yeah, man, and I mean that shows in what you do, man. Is like again, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. It's like you're not putting on this mask or this character, and it's really it's really cool to see that, man. And even in because you're still making music. Is your single drop yet? The one you've been advertising? I saw it on there. Is it
No, no, I just been marketing, man. I got about
okay? I thought so. I mean,
maybe
here's like, is it dropped yet? I haven't heard it. And it's like you have this still rap, of course, but you have this like this funk, this into it, this really just different sound that's super appealing. And again, it shines through what you do because you're able to say, you know what, forget the red tape, forget the shackles and this. I'm just gonna do this.
yeah, man. Like it. This is such a beautiful time to be Trinidad James because of the journey, bro. The
Yeah.
journey just feels as powerful as it can be. I'm back in my favorite place. I'm back in my favorite thing to do, making money every day.
Yeah.
Trapping out the spot. Like this is the best version of me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like music is too much of you do this for a period of time and then you gotta like no, it's like I like better foundation than that.
Yeah.
Music has never been good foundation. It's been always great moments and
Hmm.
full of great highlights. And so now I get to have foundation, open up more businesses. You know what I'm saying? I want to open a couple businesses in Dallas, Texas in the next couple of years too, after I do
Nice.
some more here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Come on down like 3 hours south on 45. We here in Houston too, dog. Like, come on.
Hey, see, I'd rather see doing business in Houston is different than living in Houston. I'd rather live in Houston, do business in Dallas. How whatever.
I ain't
Like
mad
I
at
rather,
you.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Ain't
it's
mad
just
at you.
different, bro. I got such a great relationship with Houston. I'd rather like stay on that level with
Yeah, like a
Houston
personal
and do
level as
business.
opposed to business.
Yeah, like, let's keep it personal. Let's be cool. Let's
Yeah,
hang out. Let's party. Let's,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Let's do
yeah,
shows. Let's record and things like that. But, business brings a certain type of like energy and jealousy,
yeah.
how whatever. And I don't ever want to see that side of Houston, how whatever. Dallas, I don't have that type of presence there. How I could just come. There's a lot of white people there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the type of business that I'm even trying to do. How whatever, it makes more sense in Dallas. And then like you said, I could boom, catch a quick flight or take a drive down
Yeah.
to Houston and hang out anytime I want to.
Yeah, what's the next venture look like for you? What's on your mind that you can talk about? I ain't put your business in the street if you want to talk about it yet. But
Yeah,
what you looking at?
I just put it in the world. It's gonna be in the world of food.
Okay.
It's gonna be in
Well,
the
I
world
love
of
food,
food.
so
Yeah.
I mean, I'll come up for some food. Oh,
No, for sure. It'll definitely be worth it, man. And you'll be able to bring the kids too because it's that kind of vibe. So, you know what I'm saying? Like definitely, it's definitely gonna be dope, man. Definitely. I'm gonna
Yes.
do a couple of them first here in Atlanta. Trying to do
Yeah.
the first one in December. And so, we'll see what God has in place, man. The universe has in place. But
Yeah.
I'm just like I said, man, I'm just happy to be back in the trap, bro.
Nice, man. Well, I gotta ask because it was like, even it's funny, even as a grown man, when you guys were doing this show, it's like I look forward to this like on every Thursday, drop full size running. I've heard kind of like shout out to the homie Hoss. He had Matt on the had Welty on his shows, My First Kicks podcast, and he talked about
Uh-huh.
how you ended up being the third host after Rich had left. You came in after being
Yeah.
a guest, and like people loved you. Was that in your mind? You was like, you know what? I want to do this for a while. I want to be like a host. Like, how did that come to play on your side of things?
My accountant, who I put on the sneakers, he was watching the show before me, and he told me about the show. And
Yeah.
when I saw the show, it reminded me of a show that I used to do myself called Camp James.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Yep.
like, oh, I was like, let me see what these boys talking about here. And so I went and was a guest, and I was like, okay, cool. And we did that. Awesome. And then I left, and then some time went past, not much time actually.
Yeah.
My accountant hit me again and was like, hey, yo, they lost one of the dudes left. You should go do that. And I was like, why would I go get a job? Like, traditional. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it didn't make sense at first. And then when I saw the bigger picture of like, I need to understand the blogs better, understand how
Yeah.
big media works.
Yeah.
It allowed me to kind of like see the bigger vision. And then I pitched it to them like, yo, let me take that spot. And they was like, basically, shout out to Rich Antonello, who used to own the spot.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, hey, bro, if you want to do it, we want to give it to you. What? Come on. And
Come
so
on down. Let's do
shout out
this
for
thing.
him. Like, it wasn't no like a bunch of back and forth. It's like, yeah, if you fly here to New York on your own dime, how whatever, and tell us to our face that you want this, we're going to give it to you. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I did. I went out there, my buddy's named Sergio Santos.
Okay.
He's from Atlanta. He's really dope, big collector, huge collector, crazy Jordan collection. And we went to the complex building and we sat in the room, and then everybody came in. That was somebody, the owner, this, that.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, like let's do it. Let's change culture. And we started in last place, and then we end up being right up there with Joe LaPuma, my guy.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing. Once again, you got to add value to these companies. It ain't just because it got to make sense. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it made sense because you guys had a fantastic dynamic. Like, each of you guys brought a different personality, a different viewpoint of things,
Amen.
and it wasn't just. I always love it because it just wasn't you guys agreeing with each other, and that's something on our podcast when we have all four of us together. It's not just agreeing. Everyone has their own viewpoint. Everybody has their own style, which makes for a real conversation as opposed to the sneaker's releasing. Great, we love it. Go ahead and next, everyone go buy it because you guys are not running a commercial. Like, that's not what you're there for. To be like, you like it, cool. If not, it's crap. Let's just tell them what it is.
Amen.
So I mean, that's just something that I think that really added to sneaker culture, in a good way. I think because again, this is a conversation that's being had when it comes to Homework as it being like a creative space? Do you ever see yourself doing any other kind of like more content like that? Anything that, maybe something you do in house, or maybe, get the band back together?
No, I mean, the next thing I do will be by myself, but right
Yeah.
now I'm really focused on, like I said, man, business building, man. I got this itch, man, like getting my spot back or getting to my first spot.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm really focused on getting my food stuff going. And once those things are like, moving like a hamster wheel,
Yeah.
um, then I'll pop back. I'll pop back out and and bring a version of sneakers that once again could add value to the community.
Yeah, man. Now, for the food, is it, you can think about going to your roots, Trinidad, like that kind of Caribbean style food, or you got something like,
Nah, it's way more American, but I'm always
okay,
have an island twist in it. I'm
okay,
Trini, so I'm always put an island twist in it. But it's definitely gonna be American. We in America, so
yeah,
it's like, I'm gonna do what's gonna guarantee the win.
yeah. I think of Bun B down here with his Chill Burger, which I haven't tried it yet because I think they're just a line there at all times. Like I haven't even made myself
Right, nah,
like
for sure.
down there, but I was like, he's been super successful with that. I mean, but again, he just like you, he kind of like he dove into it. Like it's not just slap a name on it
You
and
gotta lock in, bro. You gotta
yeah,
lock in, bro. So that's why I'm just been staying focused with the store. You know what I'm saying? Stacking, saving, making sure that everybody is taken care of that works with me, for me.
yeah,
And like I said, once we, jump over into food, it's the same thing.
yeah.
I got some really close buddies, and we're gonna all do it together.
Nice.
And franchise it, monopolize it, for sure, for sure.
Hey, that's what's up, man. And I I am and talk about growing. I am trying to do this thing now with we were as a group. We're trying to do these like get outside. It's easy to do these podcasts sitting in my office and they're cool and go do whatever. But trying to get outside more. So doing these, we're gonna do one as a sneaker history trivia. I'm going out to uh, Cigars International and doing a trivia night this next Sunday, 7 days from now, actually. So when you get this food spot built, I'm gonna come bother you like, hey, look, I'm coming up to wherever you are. We're gonna do a trivia night at this food spot.
For
We're gonna
sure,
make
bro.
this happen.
For sure, for sure, for sure, man. For sure, for sure. That's what it's about. Any spot that I got a spot at, how whatever, like I'm the person that brings the inclusiveness. I am inclusiveness.
That's a
What I'm
beautiful
saying?
thing,
Like
man. Like I said,
that's what it is. Like I'm for our culture, and making it make sense, and for the people too. You know what I'm saying? Like sneaker culture is not just a black thing.
nope.
It's for everybody. So it's just I try to make as many safe spaces as I can, man, for people
Yeah,
to
man.
exist and be vulnerable, whatever, so they not feel judged for the thing that they love.
Yep. Nah, man, it's definitely. I think it's this big thing with sneakers. It used to be. I know probably when we were younger in school, it's like, why are you buying so many sneakers? Like, what are you doing? Like, why is this? And it's like now it's such this mainstream thing. Like, what are your thoughts on where sneaker culture is right now? Like, how do you think it's something that has grown for the good? I mean, I know we have these kind of ebbs and flows with reselling becoming like super crazy now. Everything seems a little bit more accessible as a consumer now. Like, you're not really living in the on the media side of things, but as purely a consumer and then running a store, where do you see sneaker culture right now, and is it in a good place?
It's okay. It's still a lot of work and things to just be flipped and changed.
Yeah.
I like that they got artists getting involved in it. Like Nike got a collab coming with this kid named Slomo or Slow or something. He's a dope painter from overseas.
Yeah, he
He
had the
has
Air Max
90,
90s.
90,
Yeah,
90s, yeah.
yeah,
So it's like paying attention to culture on that level of things. I really miss Virgil,
yeah,
to be honest with you, because of just he understood high end, but he also understood the streets. And it's
yeah,
really hard to really get both and be respected by both.
yeah,
So it's just about finding more brothers like that. Shout out to the Joe Fresh Goods, the
yeah,
J Tip, and hey, it's hard to get people that balance both. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm,
um, I think that Nike and all the big companies have enough money to keep throwing it at the wall till they figure it out. And you got other brands that's coming too with what they have, like Asics and Solomon, Mon and
yeah,
things of such. But also, I think that we're going to move into the era of people doing their own shoes too, and that becoming a thing.
Yeah.
It's you've seen a lot of people doing it, but they're doing what they already saw, like a version of an Air Force One or blah, blah, blah. Like there's going to be a kid and kids to come that's going to come with some shit, man. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I feel like this spark of creativity is here. The sneaker landscape when it comes to producing a shoe or colorway. I feel like it's just the sky's the limit at this point. There's so many things that can be done. And I really love, like, you start naming off brands like Solomon. You start naming off brands, Saucony, of course. You look at these, I don't want to say they're not small by any means, but you look at the giants like Nike and Adidas, like you said, they got the money, they're going to be all right. But these smaller ships who are able to be this more agile, I love they're taking chances on people that you wouldn't think about, right? Like,
Right.
I use J-Tips as an example. I knew J-Tips for his hats, of course, it's Savior brand, but I never was like, in my mind, it's like, oh, tap J-Tips for a sneaker collaboration. And then when he did it, the man exploded. Like, it was amazing to see what he did. And then, again, Joe Freshgoods, he did something small with New Balance, and it's like, oh, okay, that worked. Oh, it's still working 5 years later. It's amazing to see that they're understanding how to take chance on new people. And even, I mean, Nike's...
Salehi, you got Salehi. These last 5 years, Black designers from the streets have had a chance to cook.
Yeah.
And you've seen what it's done, and it's been beautiful all across the board. And the more that you let, people that's really from the culture cook, is the better that the food will taste, because we know the ingredients that it takes to make the communities happy.
Yeah, 100%, man. And not only that, like, letting them do their thing, getting like a real ear to the street and getting real flavor and real culture in these shoes is one thing, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with the next thing I say, but I love that I'm getting shoes now that when I was a kid looking at, whatever website, whatever form that I thought were just unattainable, they're coming back. I mean, I missed on Galaxy phones twice now, but the fact that I can still probably find a pair and it not be a mortgage payment, or these things like Undefeated Fours were just like a unicorn, this mythical creature, that I'm able to possibly get these things now added to my collection. So I got the classics, the foundation where everything's built on, but I'm also getting these new creations from these amazing artists like yourself, Trinidad, who are just coming out with these just great things for the future. So in 10, 20 years, they start retroing things like this again. I can just, you just keep adding on. It's just the cycle's there. Like, I get best of both worlds right now. And I think it's just amazing for someone who likes to collect sneakers, or someone who just loves the process of how these sneakers are coming about.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, oh, man. Yeah, I think it's in the greatest place. I mean, reselling, look, get your money. I'm not mad at you all the time.
Right.
Because it gives me the ability now, when I couldn't as a kid back in, late 90s, early 2000s, when I was like really getting into shoes, I couldn't go back and find, like, on the internet, find a shoe easily. So that helps me out. I can reach back to find things. But so I give resellers that. It's easy for me to find things when I want them. I don't want to pay that much for them, but it's cool.
Right.
I mean, I like that we're in a place where it's become accessible.
For sure. And it needs to be more of that, so I'm happy that it's moving in the direction and the conversations being had. In anything that was ever changed, there was also an issue. There was a conversation that had to be had, whether it was an argument, whether it was a war, whether it was a riot, whether it was a protest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you say how you feel, because both sides have a valid point. But the change is going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, no, that's for sure, man. That is for sure. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, brother. I know you got a lot of things going on, so I really do thank you for the time, man. And this is a great conversation. I really did enjoy it, man. And before we let you go, anything forthcoming? I know we got the restaurants in the work, got Hommewrk that has just opened up not too long ago, which is, like, from everything I've seen on the page, looks like it's been an amazing place. But anything else you want to talk to people about?
I mean, those are the things, man. Those are the things, man. Come down to the shop when you're in Atlanta. When we drop My Biggest Hater, which is my next single, stream it, listen to it, do the All the Way challenge with me. You know what I'm saying? When I come out popping on tours and coming out different cities, you know, if you really rock with me, you know, I want that support. I ain't gonna act fake about it, you know. So, you know, I appreciate community and community appreciate me. I appreciate our people because our people hold me down. You know, but I appreciate all people and everyone that, you know, has respect. You know, that's what this life is about for me. So check me out, guys. For sure, for sure. TikTok, IG, all that, Twitter.
Yeah, man. No, and of course, it's all at Trinidad James. And of course, follow Hommewrk as well so you know what's going on with the brand, with the shop. But guys, again, this has been an episode of Sneaker History Podcast, our Coffee Time Kick segment. And we appreciate Trinidad. Until next time, guys, see you.
Peace. Thank you, bro.
Oh, man, no problem. No problem.